if the guys from Voice would like to come up, we'd love to hear from them if they're anywhere around.
I love when we get applause for free pizza and beer, so no, it's a really great segue coming in from co-working, because what we do is kind of like, if you can't all be together in one place, you have co-working online, and that's basically kind of what we're trying to do with Voice.com. And I'll let Craig tell you a little bit about Voice, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, first let me just say, notice we didn't have Domino's today because the pizza expert was here, and I made sure that I didn't cheap out like Brian normally does. We had regular pizza. Okay.
Well, you explain why you're pizza expert.
Worstpizza.com.
That's some
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Okay.
Shameless plug.
Anyway, guys, we're up in Boca Raton, and if you want to talk about jelly, we have a tremendous office with only a few of us, so I would like to hear formally announced, anyone wants to come and work out of our office, you got your first co-working space in Boca Raton. Like I said, just email me. We have the Wi-Fi, we have the desks, we have PCs, and I don't want to turn anyone off, but feel free to bring your Macs. I have a Mac, just somebody else doesn't. And Jessie's over there too, she's with us.
Yes.
You can sit with her. But yeah, so just email me, Craig@voice.com, and let us know when you're coming and whatnot, and just make sure we're there. And we're off Yamada Road in between Congress and Military.
Right up 95.
So it's a cool space, it's great. It's
Funky. It's
great.
great.
Nice looking thing. You guys will enjoy
Conference
it.
room.
So anyway, so we created Voice, and I don't want to talk about Voice the whole time because I more just want to talk about the concept as the first what we call social sourcing platform to bring buyers and sellers of freelance services together in an open setting, breaking down the walls. And I guess it's just from personal experience, I used to use other freelance sites, and I'll never forget, I finally found a guy I wanted to use, and I said, okay, well, here's my IM. Please contact me so I can get to know you. And I got banned from the site because I was only allowed to stay within their walls to do my business. And I just found that very odd that I'm supposed to put up tens of thousands of dollars to get a project done, but yet I can't even see a picture of this guy or talk to him individually outside of this message board. Who is he? Who are they? You have no idea who you're sending your money to. And yet then they ask you to put money into escrow. And I can't think of the last time I dealt with any professional, whether it be my lawyer, my accountant, even my landscaper, that said, okay, we'll put your money up in escrow and then I'll do the work and release it. Escrow is good for them. They collect interest off of that money. That's how they make their money. We've decided, let's open up the freelance world. Build a community where people can socialize, they can leave the site, they can come back to the site, and build their own trusted, reputation-based community. And that was our focus behind Voice, and now we finally launched. But anyway, what I really wanted to go into and kind of have an open forum with everyone deals with the domestication of outsourcing. Now, outsourcing, if you say to anyone, comes with a negative stigma. And I don't blame it, because when I think of outsourcing, I think of outsourcing to Pakistan or India or the Philippines and taking jobs away from America. But we've been hiring locally now at the same prices as we used to outsource. There's no more where you're getting a bargain going to India or a bargain going here. There's plenty of laid-off Americans and talented freelancers that you can hire at the same prices that you would normally go to these sites to find the cheap labor on. So I kind of wanted to discuss with you guys is how do we domesticate outsourcing and make it clear that I'm hiring this guy down the block, but that's still outsourcing. So we've come up with the term virtual officing, which is more like a co-working thing because you don't, although you can be in the same space for a co-working environment, and we love co-working, you can also be virtual. So I can hire her to do my PHP when I have a project that somebody hired me for Flash, and I need to get something else done. Because you're all friends in the community, so it makes no difference if I'm in person with you or if I'm virtually your friend online. So I kind of want to hear questions or just at least comments from other people because I see many freelancers here, some actually from the sites that I've used before, and I'm just curious why they, it's very hard to teach somebody that you can get it virtually for free on Voice because we don't charge any fees up until you've done like 10 or 15 projects for free. And even at that point, you can get it for as cheap as $2.50 a project. Now, talk about membership fees and percentage of earnings from these other sites, it's really a heck of a deal. Are there any freelancers here that use other sites out there? So I'm sure you know what your fees are when you get a job. I would think that something like ours would be, for the same job, a lot more beneficial and cost effective. So I'd love to hear what people here think. How can we market the fact that outsourcing can be down the block? Outsourcing doesn't have to be to India. Outsourcing could be to Kentucky. Outsourcing could be to Miami for us from Boca.
Did you do any verification?
Like in what sense?
that they're U.S. based?
Well, when we collect their IPs when they come in to make sure, and I guess within the next 2 weeks, the system will work where you can't come into the site until you say you're from the location where your IP address says you're from. So although now you can come in and say you're from America, be somewhere else, but your IP address will still show that you're from Pakistan, and then we contact you and let you know your account's into jeopardy of being deleted unless you say you're from where you're from.
50% of our membership right now is coming from the United States, and most of the jobs come from people bidding them out in the United States. The interesting thing that we're finding is that if people have a choice between picking a provider of service somewhere else in the world in the United States, they're going to pick that one in the United States even if the price is a little bit higher. It's not necessarily price here is always the thing that governs it. It's necessarily who they can feel comfortable with. And that's why on our site, people go by their name, not user 123.
And we're trying to push the projects locally. Local people, like I know David over there who just went into the bathroom. He just won a project on the site. Basically, the guy wanted to copy his site. He did. I said, why aren't you bidding it yourself? I'm sure the guy will hire you if he's trying to copy you. So he ended up getting that project, and yeah.
Is this limited to the technology community, or say, content people like former journalists, would they be utilizing this?
Yeah, what we have on UVoices, we have both the freelance and we have manufacturing as well. So it's not just limited to tech, but yeah, we do have writing, we have article writing, submission, basically anything you would find on the common freelance sites that are out there we have. But we've also included a pretty vast manufacturing, so if you want to make these sneakers, you can find somebody to make you these sneakers. But right here now is geared more towards stuff on the internet as opposed to manufacturing process.
And something about co-working, one of the things that I really want to emphasize is that one of the things that's really important to us is that, I just came back from South by Southwest, and we were talking about, I went to a lot of freelancing conferences, and I said, I want to find out what's the biggest problem with a lot of freelancers, what's their biggest problem that they have. And they were talking about something called porpoising, and where the porpoise comes up, takes his breath, goes underneath, comes back up again. And what would happen is the freelancer goes out there, he gets a bunch of jobs, he goes and does the work, and during the time he's doing the work, but when he's finished with the work, he's got no work again. So he's got to come up for air again and start trying to market himself. And one of the things that was most interesting is that they said if we can just market ourselves or find somebody to market us during this. So I said, why don't you use the existing freelance sites? And they said, well, you can't talk to the other freelancers. So what the interesting thing is, what we're trying to emphasize with us is there are other people who you can meet who can help market your site. And we're starting to get that from, I'm actually starting to teach some of the freelancers on our site to hire other people who are on the site who can actually help market you, whatever way it may be. I mean, they have all different kinds of ways of doing it. So that's really what, you talk about co-working, that's what we're really trying to do here. That's what the idea originally was underlying the idea for the site, was to actually have people collaborate together, to work together to actually build their businesses. Like Craig said, if I do PHP and he does Flash, and well, I need somebody to do a Flash component, I can hire him on the site as well, or just work with him. It doesn't make a difference to us because we don't get paid in that way. We don't worry about the escrow. But that's really what we're trying to do, is trying to get the sellers and the buyers to actually work together.
How many people do you have on the site?
Well, right now the site we have over 100,000 people, and I'll explain why we have that. When we first developed the site, we actually developed it as a social network so we could see if we could handle all the traffic we could handle. And we took it to a certain point, and we said once we get to about 5,000 in the world, as far as traffic ranking, it was on Alexa, and like 16,000 on Compete or something, we said we'll actually pull back and really focus on the business piece. We wanted to make sure that our code could handle it. So now we're getting about 100, 200 people a day. Some of the slower days we're getting 50, but really 100, 200 people a day joining to the site. And all the people up on the site now who are putting projects up, a lot of them are actually sellers who are becoming buyers, who understand now the idea that I can actually meet the other guy on the other side. But the most important thing is you're yourself. You're not user 123. You're actually your identity.
And I guess it comes down to a term too called distributed development. We found that our buyers are coming to the site. They don't want to have to hire somebody to do their writing and somebody to do their design and somebody to do the development. They want to just hire somebody who's going to take care of all that for them. So maybe you can do the development and you can do the design and you can do the SEO. Let that person distribute the development on the site. And we haven't even started to market this yet. And it's really a great opportunity if you guys just take a look at it and join, because now's the chance to get feedback and become the big provider on the site before it becomes the size of one of the other sites. And we are going to start a major marketing campaign, so the jobs are going to come. But we're not necessarily going to be pushing for freelancers in the marketing campaign. We're pushing for the buyers.
Right.
And when the buyers come, it's kind of like, give the girls free drinks, the guys will naturally show up. So I'm pretty sure the freelancers will come. All right. Got off easy.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.